And what I think is the biggest announcement in Upland since Spud Wars, since SPARKLET. This is a huge announcement. This is up there with the biggest announcement. This is definitely the biggest gamification announcement since Spud Wars. We are excited to introduce SPARKLET Warz. SPARKLET Warz is a game changer. It adds a new recurring event that happens in between every single season in Upland. So for those of you that don't know, in Upland we have seasons. We're in the middle of the Wonderland season right now. It actually ends January 15th here, and then there are 2 weeks in between each season that is an off season. In between each off season, we will have SPARKLET Warz every single time. What are SPARKLET Warz? SPARKLET Warz are a competition between 3 factions in Upland to see who can own and dominate a specific city. This first iteration, the city that you will be fighting for, the factions will be fighting for, is Tokyo. Tokyo has been a big focus for Wonderland. The design, theme, everything. SPARKLET Warz is a battle for Tokyo. Now, this first SPARKLET Warz is just a beta. Things are going to change. We're going to add things to this going forward. This is very limited as well, so there's a very limited number of passes for those who can participate because this is a beta. Going forward, we're going to expand on this. We're going to iterate and expand on this each and every single off-season, each and every single iteration of SPARKLET Warz, improve it, make it better, add more mechanics to it going forward. But this is beta. It's the first one. Very excited. It is starting here, January 20th. January 20th is when SPARKLET Warz starts. So, today's video, we're just going to go over the details here because this is a very long announcement. There's a lot of mechanics here. There's a lot of nuance to how SPARKLET Warz works. You're going to want to make sure that you go through it in detail so that you fully understand it. We're just going to go over the main points in this video and hopefully give you a good idea what is SPARKLET Warz. Is it something that you want to participate in and just give you a not a full rounded, but a pretty good rounded understanding of what is SPARKLET Warz. Now, if you haven't yet checked out the announcement, I'm going to give you a hint here. Some players I see are missing it, but at the bottom of the announcement, I went too far there. At the very bottom, we have dropped these. These are cheat sheets. These are basically quick reference guides for each of the factions so that you can download them, you can save them, you can check them out, and then use these as SPARKLET Warz takes off so that you can understand what exactly is happening. This is just a quick glance guide, so make sure you head to the bottom of the announcement and go check it out. The announcement is linked everywhere in our usual places, announcement channel, in-game, etc. Okay, so we went over what SPARKLET Warz is. It's basically a territory battle, a war, if you will, between factions for a specific city. Again, for this first one, it is Tokyo. Each and every single SPARKLET Warz going forward, it will be focused on a different city. What are the factions? Well, there are 3 factions in SPARKLET Warz. These factions will never change. They will always be the Krypto Knights. Maybe we add to it over time. I don't know. But for right now, they will be the same 3 factions in every single SPARKLET Warz. What does change between SPARKLET Warz and SPARKLET Warz is what faction you're a part of. In order to get into a faction, you will have to burn a faction pass before each and every single SPARKLET Warz kicks off. Faction passes purchased during this SPARKLET Warz event do not count towards any other. Each faction, there's a unique faction pass per SPARKLET Warz. So you don't get to save it. You can't save it. The purpose of these faction passes for this SPARKLET Warz that you're going to be able to pick up on January 16th is for this SPARKLET Warz, and the purpose for them is to burn them. So that is how that works. But let's go over the factions here real quick before we double click on the faction passes. First up is the Krypto Knights. Now, each of these factions has a unique style. It has a personality. Really cool stuff here with the factions. Krypto Knights, you can see, it's very fantasy. They're knights. They're Krypto Knights. They're professional. They're clad in armor. You know, it's like a gentleman, like a sir and a lady. That's a Krypto Knight for you. And their creed: secure the wealth, defend the future. And that is, I mean, I think that's on point with Knights. Next up, we've got the Purge Pirates. As you can expect, the Purge Pirates are wild. They're just wild. And they loot, they pillage, they plunder wherever they go. Their battle cry: take what's ours, leave none for the rest. And then we've got the very futuristic Cypher Cyborgs. These are futuristic. They're calculated. They're future forward thinking. Their motto: evolve, adapt, dominate. And that is our 3 factions. Now, all of the map assets you're going to see all follow a theme here, a style for each of these factions. So there is no question what faction is doing what. There's no question what faction you're a part of. That's the 3 factions. I'd love to know in the comments, actually, right now. Let me know what faction appeals to you the most. Let me know in the comments below to this video. And here is the passes. Now, these are the faction passes. This is how you register for your faction. These go on sale. You can register for these on January 15th. They go on sale in the Upland store on January 16th at 9 a.m. PT. You can only get one from the store. Once you get one, let's say you pick up Krypto Knights and you're like, okay, Krypto Knights, this is the one I want. Count me in. There's a burn functionality on it. You'll be able to burn it. Once you burn it, that puts you into that faction. Now, if you burn more than one, it doesn't matter. The first one burned is what puts you into that faction. What happens if I get a pass that I don't want, of a faction that I don't want? It's up to you to trade with other players. The point of SPARKLET Warz is collaboration. The point of SPARKLET Warz is connecting with other members of the community, because that's the only way you're going to succeed here. So that is how. So you can trade with other players before you burn if you want to get into a specific faction. But that is how the faction passes work. They are randomized, but you can trade with other players to secure your desired faction. Now, once you burn a faction, there's a few things that happen. First, you are given an avatar overlay. So this overlay will automatically put on top of your avatar inside of Uplands. And that is how you will know, hey, what faction am I a part of? And others who see your block explorer around the map, they'll know what faction you're a part of. You can see Krypto Knights, Purge Pirates, and Cypher Cyborgs. There's going to be no question of what faction you're a part of. You will get dropped once you burn that faction pass, an avatar overlay. It's just temporary. This goes away after the SPARKLET Warz season ends, not season, but contest. After it ends, and then there'll be new avatar overlays for the next one. Now, the other thing I said before, the key to this game, the key to this challenge, the key to this event is to coordinate, communicate, and collaborate with other members of the community. So when you burn your faction pass inside of Upland, a chat channel will be open for you that you'll get access to. You will not get access to the other faction chat channels, just your own faction chat channel that you have burned a pass for. That is where you can coordinate with your teammates. That's where you can figure out who's in it, DM each other. If you feel that's not secure enough, if you think there's spies there, you can DM with each other. But it's a good starting point to coordinate, to get to know, to collaborate, and to connect with other players. So that is how you pick your faction. Let's talk about scoring. Basically, the point of SPARKLET Warz is to get the most points as a faction than any of the other factions. There are 2 ways you do that. Applying ornaments to properties and buildings, to buildings on properties inside of Tokyo in Upland during this 7-day contest. Each faction will, once you register, you're going to have an opportunity to pick up a map asset bundle pack and a structure ornament bundle pack, and it comes with carts and the whole shot. And you'll receive these map assets in which you will be able to apply them to the 3 unique structures in Tokyo that we've selected this time around. Now, depending on what city it's in, there may be different unique structures chosen for that city. The 3 structures for this city are the micro house, the Tokyo townhouse, and the apartment. And you can see it's very clear and distinct what faction. There's the pirates, there's the cyborgs, there's the knights up top, what faction these are. Each ornament gives you points towards your faction that you place on a building. Now, you're also able to build what we're calling superstructures. These superstructures are available only during SPARKLET Warz. They are temporarily available only during SPARKLET Warz, only in the city in which SPARKLET Warz is taking place. Why are they superstructures? Because they give you a huge amount of points against other factions. And as a result, they cost a huge amount of Sparklet and spark hours in order to build them, in order to fully construct them. Only fully completed superstructures will give you points for your faction in Upland. To give you an idea, now this is superstructures. You're not going to be able to build one by yourself in the time that it takes. Chances are you're not going to be able to build one by yourself in the time that it takes. The contest is only 7 days. because of the amount of Sparklet. So you're going to have to coordinate. You're going to have to pull your resources with your faction to get these bad boys built. Only fully completed ones in the time frame count. To give you an idea, a superstructure unit requires 40,000 spark hours to complete with a maximum stake of 5,000. If you reach that maximum stake, it will still take 3.5 days to complete. So it's only a 7-day contest. So you're going to need to coordinate. You're going to need to pull your resources. These are huge. So why are superstructures such a big deal? Right here. Right here. These are the points breakdown. The micro house ornament, 30 points per micro house ornament with per micro house structure with an ornament on it. Tokyo Townhouse gives you 50 points, and an apartment building with an ornament on it gives you 70 points. A faction superstructure that is completed gives you 250 points. Absolutely huge. Superstructures are superstructure that are key to your victory, which means you're going to have to collaborate and coordinate. One thing to note here on the ornaments is every ornament will be reusable in future SPARKLET Wars. So you pick up an ornament pack this time around. During the next SPARKLET Wars iteration, you're going to be able to use those same ornaments. Long term, you can foresee how there will be a thriving secondary market for these, or there could be a thriving secondary market for these. There's always going to be new ones introduced with new items, with new abilities introduced during SPARKLET Wars, and then you're going to be able to use past ones for ornaments. And also all the map assets that are used as we go through them. So that's how you get points for your faction. Now, there are ways that you can prevent other factions from getting points. There's offense, there's defense, and then there's the ultimate weapon. And we're going to go over that in a second. But before we do, let's take a look at how the scoring actually works. So there's actually 3 leaderboards in the game. 2 of them are in the game. One of them is outside the game. For your convenience, we're dropping them in the game here, and then one will be outside of the game. The way that scoring works is it's on a scoring progression. So on day 1, only 10% of the day's total faction score will be added to a faction's overall score. On day 2, 20% is added. On day 3, 30%. Day 4, 40%. Day 5, 50%. Day 6, so the second to last day, 75% of the score, total score, is added to this final leaderboard. And on the last day, 100% of the faction's score is added to the overall score. Why? The purpose of this event, this really encourages, you're going to have to move and counter move each and every single day. So each and every single day has a different amount of percentage of faction points that will count towards your faction's final leaderboard, which means you're going to want to move, you're going to want to counter move, you're going to want to not just set your items and leave them. You're not going to win doing that. You're going to have to move, counter move each and every single day. Every ornament you put down, every map asset you put down can be countered or can be moved after you put it down, and scores will adjust accordingly. Now let's go to offensive, defensive. They're weapons. They're all weapons. So weapons are specialized map assets during SPARKLET Wars, categorized by offensive and defensive abilities used to attack or protect faction scores. Once again, all of these items, you pick these up in bundles after you register for your faction. All of these items are reusable in future SPARKLET Wars. Key. They are reusable in future SPARKLET Wars. So the first one is cannons. You can see here are the cannons. Now, cannons reduce the score of enemy factions. So what does that mean? You have an ornament on a property. I can come up, and on a property next to you, I can place a cannon. There will be a radius that you see on all of your map assets. In fact, let's take a look at that now. But there will be a radius that you see, and as long as your structure is within my radius, it will reduce your score by 25%. So this is offensive play. We're basically shooting at your structure, removing those points. This is stackable by 25%, but it stacks incrementally on the new score. So for instance, I put one cannon down targeting your ornament. It reduces your total score by 25%. I put a second cannon down targeting your ornament. It reduces it by 25% of the reduced score, the already reduced score. So that's how that looks. Let's take a look here real quick. This is the new feature. You can see right here. Everything is going to have this radius circle in there. It's all going to be by colors too. So each faction will have their own color. I can't remember the colors here. We're color coded. Brown is for the Knights, yellow will be for Pirates, and blue will be for the Cyborgs. You can see in this instance, you can see a cannon and a chest was placed, and you can see 2 different radiuses. Now, this is not accurate. This is just for presentation purposes. Each map asset has a different range, and they're all listed. Again, they're all listed. I went too far. They're all listed in this cheat sheet. You can see all the things, the radius. So for instance, the cannon is 25-meter radius. So make sure you go check those out. So that is the cannons. They're the offensive weapons. But how do I defend against the cannons? Well, you can drop chests. Chests are defensive items. One chest neutralizes 1 cannon. It's a 1-for-1. Now, there are some caveats here. Again, make sure you go read all the fine detail. Let me just read through this because it's the best way to explain it. A single chest can neutralize 1 cannon per scoring item. What is a scoring item? It is a property with a structure, ornament, or a completed superstructure that contribute points to your faction. So a single chest can neutralize 1 cannon per scoring item within its radius. For example, if 2 cannons are targeting the same scoring item, only 1 will be neutralized. If 2 cannons, though, are targeting different scoring items, both will be neutralized. So to put it simply, let's say you're on a property and you're surrounded by the enemy, or maybe you and your faction mates and you're surrounded by the enemy, and you have 1 cannon that's hitting your structure, and you have another cannon hitting your faction mates, your friends' structure, and you're able to put a chest down that encompasses both of those, it will neutralize both of those cannons because they're pointed at different structures. If both of those cannons are pointed at your structure, the chest will only neutralize one of them. That's the clarification. Make sure you read make sure you read this announcement in full to understand all those little things like that. Next up, last but not least, we've got the ultimate cart. The ultimate weapon, which is the cart. Now, these carts are usable as carts in Upland, but they're the ultimate weapon. Think of them as like tanks. They're like very high-powered tanks in Upland. It's the ultimate weapon. It's the most rare. Total mints, only 25 for each faction. It reduces all opponent structure points to 0 within a 30-meter radius. So instead of the cannon is just a percentage, the cart, boom, brings it right down to 0. But wait a minute. What if I drop some chests? Can I counter the cart? No. What makes the cart the ultimate weapon, the most valuable, is it cannot be countered by anything. It goes down, boom, removes points from all structures within its radius. It's got a 30-meter radius. So there you go. That's how that works. Remember, all of these items, you'll pick them up in map asset packs in the Upland store. All of them are reusable, once again, each and every single season. And that's how that works. Here are the key dates. We start with the SPARKLET Warz Sale Pass. Again, I've said this already. Wednesday, January 15th is the registration. Thursday, January 16th is the sale. After you register for your faction, there will be a SPARKLET Warz bundle sale. The only way to get the SPARKLET Warz bundles is to have a burned pass. You're only able to purchase a faction bundle based on what faction you are officially registered for. Each bundle contains 2 randomly selected NFTs, which include a map asset, a cart, or a structure ornament. So you're going to get 2 on that combo. Remember, the most rare is the cart. The cart is the most rare because it's the ultimate window. That's how that works. Then, so we prep for this. Both of these sales, this is Friday, January 17th, that opens up. Saturday, January 18th, it goes on sale. Then the battle kicks off Monday, January 20th. Monday, January 20th, it kicks off. The following Monday at 9 a.m. PT, the war officially ends. And that will do us for the first iteration of SPARKLET Warz that week long during the off season. Now, the spoils of war, 200,000 Sparklet airdrop is up for grabs. That's why it's SPARKLET Warz. You're trying to get a piece of that airdrop. You also get an exclusive badge. Remember, these badges go towards your collector score, so it'll add to that. And then all factions, the top 25 players on each faction will get dropped a Block Explorer. So you're going to want to try your hardest no matter what faction you're on. Top 25 on each faction will get dropped the Block Explorer. And that does us. Again, check out the cheat sheets. Hopefully that answered some questions for you. It's a long, in-depth announcement. It's a huge announcement. It's 2025. It's a new generation. It's a new generation at Upland. And I'm very excited for this. I'm very excited. I love the strategy. I love the collaboration that it's going to take to win this. I love that this builds on it season in and season out, or not season in and season out, but war. Each war will build upon itself in different cities. Very exciting. Do you have any questions? Let the community team know in any of our chat channels. Good luck. Prepare. Make sure you read the whole thing. And we'll see you guys in Upland. Bye-bye.